बिस्मिल्लाहिर्रहमानिर्रहीम। हेलो दोस्तों, कैसे हो आप? मैं हूं एन मोहम्मद आजम रियाज और आप देख रहे हैं GN न्यूज़ उर्दू। आज तारीख है
May 15, 2022. Russia-Ukraine war. Ukraine says Russian forces are withdrawing from Kharkiv. Ukraine's military says Russian forces are withdrawing from the northern city after weeks of fighting. DW has the latest. Zelensky: Ukraine gains more ground as Russia suffers worst aviation losses in decades. Ukraine wins Eurovision. Connect via Facebook. Connect via Twitter. RSS header _BG_N_GB. Ukraine's Kolosh Orchestra won Eurovision because the Republican leader promised continued US support during a surprise visit to Kyiv. The manner in which they deal with their national histories has helped Chinese President Xi Jinping and Russian leader Vladimir Putin gain power and justify their policies. Around the world news: 10 people have been killed in a race-based shooting in Buffalo, USA. A white gunman kills 10 and injures 3 at a supermarket in Black Mohalla, Buffalo, New York. Australia spotted a Chinese spy ship on the west coast. Australian Prime Minister Scott Morrison said the Chinese intelligence ship was not in Australian territorial waters, but its presence on the northwest coast was a matter of concern. Finland has confirmed that Russia has cut off electricity supplies. In a call with Finnish President Sauli Niinisto, Putin warned that joining NATO would be a mistake, as the Nordic country was close to becoming a member of the US-backed coalition. Post-mask increased COVID-19 infection in Spain. Masking is now voluntary in Spain. Doctors warn that it is too early to dig out the most basic epidemic. Turkey criticizes Swedish and Finnish support for rebels at NATO summit. Turkey's foreign minister has called Swedish and Finnish support for Kurdish rebels unacceptable and provocative. Election 2022. Morrison launches housing scheme. Announced Albanian says government wheels are falling. Ukraine. The G7 says Russia's blockade of the Black Sea is pushing millions to starve. The foreign ministers called for action to allow the export of Ukrainian grain, as Kyiv claimed Russian withdrawal from another major city. Venezuela's opposition says the West should not lift sanctions on Maduro. 7 more people were rescued from a sinking boat near Puerto Rico. Drugs can be a defense of violent crimes, Canada's Supreme Court rules. Africa. The secret British black propaganda campaign targeted the enemies of the Cold War protests in Nigeria after the arrest of a student accused of blasphemy. Boris Johnson says 50 people will be sent to Rwanda in a fortnight. Floods in South Africa in April have doubled the magnitude of the climate crisis, scientists say. Middle East news: the Palestinians have vowed to stay in the West Bank despite decades of defeat in the legal battle. We must show Israel that the time for accountability has come. Israel should not be allowed to whitewash the fraudulent investigation into the assassination of journalist Shireen Abu Akleh. Shireen Abu Akleh, UN Security Council unanimously condemns killing of journalist. Lebanon's elections will re-legitimize the failed system. It is unlikely that there will be any structural change in Sunday's parliamentary elections. Lebanese take their battle with the century-old political system to the ballot box. Lebanese voters hope to take the country back from the brink. UAE, Sheikh Mohammed elected new president in a show of unity. The leaders of the various sheikhs of the United Arab Emirates have elected a new president. The hasty decision was a surprise to the stepfather of the recently deceased president. Sheikh Mohammed bin Zayed Al Nahyan has been elected President of the United Arab Emirates, replacing his half-brother. Asian news: what we know, and don't know, about the North Korean cowardly spread. Who is Bongbong Marcos Jr. and why are some Filipinos worried about the return of their families? Taiwan seizes opportunity for opening. North Korea announces first Quad death amid explosive outbreak, leaving Shanghai locked down for a whole new world outside of China. The Tonga volcano erupted the most in 140 years. Dozens of people have been killed in a fire at an office building in Delhi. India bans wheat exports as heatwave damages crops, boosts domestic prices. Worse yet, the new Sri Lankan the Prime Minister warned.
Pakistani news: Faisalabad, the PTI's May 15th rally was marred by differences. Some aspiring candidates refused to give 3 lakh rupees to the rally committee. Suicide blast in Miranshah, North Waziristan. 3 martyred. Former wicketkeeper Rashid Latif has announced his intention to enter politics. The government has decided to increase the prices of petroleum products from Monday, sources said, while reducing the fuel subsidy announced by PTI. Following the February 28 decision of former Prime Minister Imran Khan, the current prices of high-speed diesel are 144 rupees and 15 paise per litre, petrol 149 rupees 0.86 per litre, kerosene 125 rupees 0.56 per litre, and LDO 118 rupees 0.31 per litre. Liters. The new coalition government on April 15 rejected the Oil and Gas Regulatory Authority's summary of the increase in petrol price by 21 rupees and 50 paise and diesel by 51 rupees and 30 paise. Addressing the iftar for the parliamentary leaders, Prime Minister Shahbaz said that if the government had given the green signal to such a proposal, people would have started cursing the people. Sources said that the government is giving a subsidy of more than 29 rupees per litre of petrol, and with the increase in the price of dollar, the subsidy will go up to more than 45 rupees by May 16. With the complete reduction of subsidy, the price of petrol will go up to 195 rupees per litre. Finance Minister Mufta Ismail, who is trying to explain to Pakistan the difficulty in handling the petrol bill, said on May 5 that former Prime Minister Imran Khan had promised the IMF to increase the price of petrol. Well, according to this promise, the price of petrol should be 245 rupees. We are spending 102 billion rupees a month trying to maintain this support price, said Mufta. Similarly, the price of diesel could go up to 230 rupees per litre after the end of subsidy of more than 73 rupees, which is expected to increase to 85 rupees by Monday. The price of kerosene will be 176 rupees and the subsidy of 43 rupees will be withdrawn. This relief is expected to increase to 5 rupees. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe this channel.